Alright guys, this is going to be my movie review for Monkey Man, directed by Dev Patel. This was a movie I was super excited to see just based off of that first trailer. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, this looks awesome, and I gotta say I had a pretty good time watching it. There's obviously some problems that I have with it, but first let's go ahead and talk about pros and then cons. My first pro is Dev Patel. I thought he did fantastic throughout this entire movie. His performance was great. I thought his directing was actually pretty good considering this is his first ever movie. A directorial debut that has gone this well is pretty phenomenal, I would say. I'm really happy for him and all of the positive feedback that he's been getting for this movie, and I hope he produces some great films down the line as well. But I gotta say, Monkey Man, very solid first film by him. My next positive is the action. It is very, very good. I would maybe even say great. It is really well done. They're using the environment in the fights, which I love. These fights are super aggressive, really gritty, and just super violent, and I had a great time watching it. Especially the action choreography I thought was really well done, especially a couple of scenes in the movie. One was a bathroom fight scene, and then the other one is like the final fight. I thought both of those were fantastic. I like that the movie was a simple revenge story, except mixed with some Indian culture. I thought it was done really well, you know? You really feel like the movie is just very authentic, you know? You're getting exposed to Indian culture, locations, and everything, and I really enjoyed that. I also thought some of the comedy was well done, even though there wasn't that much comedy in the movie. I would say there's maybe 4 parts of the movie where it's meant to be funny, and I probably laughed 2 or 3 out of those 4 times. Basically, my big positives are just the fact that the action is well done, the story is simple yet effective, and the actors have all put in a great performance. Now on to my negatives. Now the first negative I'm going to say is the second act of this movie. It is super, super slow. It's a jarring change of pace. Act 1 and 3 are just high octane, you know, very, very fun to watch. And then Act 2, everything just comes to a halt. And it just, you know, you feel it. It is super slow. The second act is all about building up our main character's strength again and making him ready to go fight the bad guys. And we meet this banished group of people that had barely any setup at all. And he punches a bag of rice and then he becomes Superman, basically. And it didn't really make a lot of sense. This group of people is said to be warriors as well, so it would have made way more sense if this group of people taught him like a new fighting technique or how to use a new weapon or something, or maybe taught him how to deal with pain better and just make him stronger overall and more resilient. But they didn't do that, which was really strange because we have this group of banished people that are considered to be like warriors and everything, but they didn't teach our hero anything. And then after our hero spends time with these people, he essentially gets an upgrade and is a better fighter, but there's no real reason as to why. Which makes these banished people in the second act kind of useless in my opinion because they don't really do all that much. Like I said, if they taught him a new fighting technique or showed him how to use this new weapon or something, you know, essentially doing something to enhance Dev Patel's character, then, you know, I think it would have been worth it to have them in the movie, but they didn't do anything to alter him, really. That's what made the second act just really uninteresting, slow, and kind of boring. My next negative is shaky cam, and there is a lot of it in this movie. I'm not a big fan of it. You know, I want to see the choreography. I want to see the action. I don't want to, I don't want to see that. So yes, there's a lot of shaky cam in this movie, but then also there's shaky cam even on shots that don't need it at all. Like there's no action happening. It'll just be right on Dev Patel, and the camera's doing this, and I'm like, why? You're not throwing a punch or anything. You don't need shaky cam there. And in my opinion, you don't need it anywhere. I absolutely hate shaky cam. I also thought the order of the movie should have been shifted around a little bit because throughout the movie we're getting his backstory shown to us and it's in like a whole bunch of flashbacks. Like there's probably at least 7. Like there's probably 7 to 10 flashbacks throughout the movie when all you had to do was just open up the movie with that flashback and then cut to Dev Patel in our current time. But for whatever reason, they don't show us the backstory and we're just following him right off the bat, which you don't really know why he's doing anything at all because you don't know his backstory. So I think if they just took all of those flashbacks, just put that in like a 10-minute scene right at the beginning of the movie, then do a time jump, it would have flowed a lot better. And it would have made you care about the main character right away after that flashback, versus like you're watching him do things and you're like, wait, why is he doing that? And then you get it slowly unraveled. Next, we gotta talk about supporting characters. There's a couple that I like, but really, this movie needed better supporting characters. Like, there's a girl in the movie, there's no, like, connection or anything. She's just in the movie here and there for whatever reason. There's no romance, no nothing. She's just in it. And there's a whole bunch of characters like that. They're just in the movie, but they don't really do anything. They're not really likable, they don't really have a story, they're just literally in it just to be in it. A lot of people compared this movie to John Wick when the first trailer dropped, and yeah, there's a lot of similarities between the two, and I think something that this movie needed was supporting characters like in the John Wick movies. There's, a whole bunch of them that you enjoy seeing on the screen, but this movie, I don't really care about any of the supporting characters, minus this one, like, short, funny guy. I don't really know his name, but I enjoyed him in the movie, but that was about it. Everyone else was forgettable, don't even know their names. My next negative is that there was too many close-up shots just like this. The whole movie felt like I was just violating the actors because the camera was literally this close for half of the damn movie. Now, close-up shots can be used to, bring us into the world of the character and, really care about what's happening in the movie, but they just do it too much. Like, a conversation will just be happening, and it's like, Dev Patel's right here, and you're like, okay, I think we're a little bit too close right now. Just back the camera up, have both characters in frame talking, I think that's something that Dev Patel can learn from this experience, is just, the camera work needed in order to make this thing just look and flow a little bit better. Because he is the director after all, he calls the shots, and if he doesn't like how things are looking, you can say something, that's his role. But yeah, a crazy amount of close-up shots. Now, my last negative involves the villains of the movie. You just don't really care about them. You don't really get to know them or get to know why they're doing what they're doing. We have a police chief and then like some religious leader or something. We don't really get to know that much about these characters, so, it's just kind of hard to care about them as villains. They're just kind of there, and Dev Patel's gotta beat them up, and that's about it. I will say the police chief does do some pretty nasty stuff, but besides that, we don't know anything about him. So I think the villains could have been fleshed out a little bit more, especially the religious leader one. I don't know, anything about that guy. But yeah, those were my pros and cons. Now let's go ahead and rank Monkey Man out of 10. Alright, here we go. I am going to give Monkey Man a 7 out of 10. I definitely think it's a above average film. It's a really great time at the movies. The action is worth it alone. I really like the main character and the whole simple story of a revenge plot. But that second act just did a ton of damage for me. It just slowed everything down. He becomes a better fighter out of nowhere. There's some camera work issues that I had with the film, but overall I had a really good time. I was kind of teeter-tottering whether this was a 7 or a 7.5, but I gotta say, I think it's probably a 7. So guys, that is my review for Dev Patel's Monkey Man. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought about it. And are you excited for the future of Dev Patel as a director? Because I know I am. This is his first ever movie, and it was this good. That is wild. Let me know your thoughts down below.